Hey friends, and welcome back to Vlogmas. Today I wanted to share with you how I took these Dollar Tree ornaments and turned them into family ornaments for our whole family. So I'm just using these red and black buffalo check ornaments that are from Dollar Tree, and I got them in the circle and in the star, and I'm just measuring to see what size I'm going to need to put a heat transfer vinyl decal on each of these ornaments. I decided to make my box about 1.5 inches tall and 2.5 inches wide. So I just made a small box in my Silhouette studio to those dimensions, and I stretched everybody's name to fit inside of that box. And I am using the font The Skinny, and I bolded the font when I used it. I just prefer to work with it that way. But I put all of our names inside of those dimensions, and then I made sure I flipped them horizontally so they could cut in my machine. So I am using heat transfer glitter. White on top of red can be a little bit tricky when you're using regular HTV, so that's why I decided to use white glitter in this instance, so I wouldn't have kind of any bleeding or anything coming through if I were to use a just regular white heat transfer vinyl. So the glitter will prevent anything from bleeding through with that white on top of red. So here I am just weeding my glitter names, my heat transfer vinyl decals, so I can add them to each of the ornaments. I'm not too sure where I got this specific white glitter. I'm pretty sure I got it in a variety pack and a sample pack from somewhere, but I will link you guys to my favorite places to buy vinyl down in the description box. So I have Corey's name cut out and ready to go, and it fits on that round ornament perfectly. And then I have Aaron's name here too, and it fits on the star as well, so those dimensions worked out really well for me. So now I have all of our names cut out and ready to go, and I'm just going to use my iron to iron these on. I do have a heat press, but I'm going to use my iron since these are kind of bulky, and I'm putting it on the highest heat setting with no steam. So I'm going to start with Carter, and you can see the green foliage at the top of the ornament. That is plastic, so try to avoid putting your iron on top of that. I know because I tried and melted part of it onto my Teflon sheet. So I'm using my Teflon sheet that came with my heat press, but if you don't have a Teflon sheet, you can just use parchment paper on top of your ornament here as well, and it's just going to kind of protect your iron from anything when you're transferring it over. Your transfer tape's not going to melt onto your iron if you have it covered with something. So I am pressing it, I'm just pressing kind of as hard as I can for about 10 seconds, and then moving on to the next spot and pressing again for another 10 seconds. And then you can see I kind of got stuck because I melted the top part there onto my Teflon sheet. Thankfully, it kind of peeled right off fine off my Teflon sheet, but be careful. So I peeled it off, and then I went ahead and covered it with my Teflon sheet again without that green part because I didn't want to melt it back onto the ornament, and just kind of rubbed it again on the tops and bottoms of the name. So these ornaments are a little bit rounded. They are kind of an awkward shape to work with, but just kind of press your iron the best you can. They're also, you know, these ornaments aren't going to go through the washing machine or anything like that, so they just have to adhere. And I'm happy with the way this looks. It looks great, and I'm going to move on to the next ornament. So again, I'm doing Corey's name, which is a rounded ornament. I'm pressing for 10 seconds, moving on to another spot and holding and pressing it again, just to kind of get those letters down the best I can. And then I'm going to take off my carrier sheet and press again, just to kind of make sure those letters are really on there. I did want to mention the buffalo plaid in some of these ornaments, they don't line up all the way, so don't kind of go by any of the lines. I thought, oh, okay, cool, I'll just go by like the third black line and they'll all line up. No, they won't do that. Also, one of my stars, the buffalo plaid was a little it was like in the opposite direction, so if you're going to pick them and that's going to bother you, double check your ornaments to make sure all your buffalo check is in the same direction. The star too was a lot harder to work with, so it kind of had like a bump in it a little bit, so it worked better if I held the star and just kind of pressed them down the best I can. And I really just pressed the ornament to the iron instead of the iron to the ornament, and then I got the letters down as good as I can, and then I cover it back up and just kind of go back over it with that Teflon sheet. Again, they're not going in the washing machine or anything like that, so I'm just kind of sticking it on the best I can here. And there we go. Ayla's name is on this star, even though it is a little bit more difficult than the round ones. So if you have a lot to do, maybe get the round ones and not the star ones. But doing the 3 stars wasn't so bad. And here we go. I have all of ours done. I have our whole family with stars and the circles, and I just absolutely love how these turned out with the glitter vinyl. And it was $6 for my whole family to have personalized ornaments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, you can find more from us here. Hit that subscribe button so you can follow all of our adventures. Send some Christmas cheer my way by hitting the like button and tapping that bell, and let me know down in the comments, what do you think of these buffalo ornaments, and do you get your family ornaments every year? Bye, guys.